Let's have a look at how we can start to use SOLIDWORKS without a lot of extra components on in the assembly. So right now I've got all of the components available for that drivetrain. And what I'd like to do is just simply work on the base frame of the drivetrain. I don't need the wheels or the outer rails for this. So I'm going to switch views over to a right-hand view, which gives me access to just simply uh, a way of selecting the components in the assembly. Now with SOLIDWORKS, you can use a right to left window, and you'll note that it selects any components that it touches. But in this case, I only want to select just components that are within the window. So if I go left to right, and we'll just make a nice clean little window here, we can set up a selection that only includes those components that are truly within the window. And so we know that anything that we're working with will be within the view. Now that I've selected those components, I'll just go ahead and come to the assembly tree here and right click and isolate those, and you'll see that SOLIDWORKS will simply hide all of those components that were not selected. So now we're in a state where we have fewer components on the screen. Now this is going to help out with the graphics cards that you have on your machines, so that it'll be easier to rotate. If we have fewer items on the screen, then it makes it easier for us to work with, and the graphics cards will not have to struggle as much as if you had all the components there. So now that we have this, we'd like to be able to go back and forth between seeing all the components as well as without. So I'm going to go to the configuration tab and look to our display states. So right now there's only one display state, and that's the one that shows all the components. So we can simply save using this little save display state icon and say, all right, we'll just call this base frame as a display state. So now I can exit the display states, and it's been saved as such. So if I go in and double click on that base frame, it removes the components that I need to work with. And again, it'll still help out with the graphics cards that you're working with, as far as being able to move components and rotate around in the screen. This will be a key when we start to have more and more components installed onto the drivetrain.